Everywhere I go, I notice the same hunger. I'm not satisfied with my busy life. I want to live a life of meaning. I want to make a difference. I want to feel more fulfilled. I want to experience life as a joy. Deep down, do you ever get the feeling that surely there has to be more to life? Is the meaning of life simply to get educated, get the career, get the money, get married, get kids, get stressed, get grandkids, get the illness, and then get the hell out of here? Is that it? Surely there has to be more to life. We may have all the material comforts we need, but many of us still feel a background dissatisfaction with our lives. Like a hamster on a wheel. Sometimes it can feel like we're running fast, but going nowhere. Levels of stress, anxiety, and depression are spiraling. How did it get to this? How did we create a society where we are literally conditioning people to become unhappier? Is the way that we're living taking us where we really want to go? As a species, as a civilization, we've developed materially and technologically over the last couple of 100 years. But what is happening to us spiritually? Technological progress without spiritual progress can be very dangerous for our planet. Life is so hectic. We often don't even have time to reflect on the bigger questions of life. And sometimes it can take a shock, like a financial crisis, a health issue, the end of a relationship, a change of job, or the sheer monotony of life. A shock that makes us look for a deeper meaning to our lives. One day, many years ago, that shock happened to me. And I wanted to make a difference in a bigger way than just for myself. Now, I remember that day in the middle of one of my darkest moments thinking, this is it. My life's over. I was at university and I was suffering from chronic fatigue syndrome, or ME. It was awful. I was so ill that I had to crawl to the bathroom. I'd started university with so much life ahead of me, but at that moment, I couldn't see any light at the end of the tunnel. I felt my life was over. I just wanted to cry out, what have I done to endure such suffering in my life? God, if you're out there, if you exist, why aren't you helping me? It was such a horrible time, such a horrible illness, and I couldn't do anything. And people were telling me that there was no cure, that I may have this for the rest of my life. I'd really hit a brick wall. But that was the shock in my life that woke me up. I had to change the way that I was living. I'd become so insecure with myself. I was living to prove myself to other people, trying to please others, and not living life authentically. I wasn't taking care of myself. I was forced to confront who I had become and to change it, and discover more about the meaning of life and my purpose in it. After a lot of research and perseverance, I learnt about the brain neurology of the illness and managed to cure myself of it. I then realised that I really wanted to help others with the illness. So I published several medical papers and then set up a clinic to treat others with the condition. It was incredibly rewarding. For the first time in my life, I felt truly alive. Out of my suffering came reflection, self-discovery, and thus greater meaning and purpose. That process was the beginning of a quest for even more understanding. My heart called out to know, to understand myself and the world around me. I studied religions, humanism, psychology, spirituality, even quantum physics, just trying to make sense of it all. And I chose to focus on what we all share as human beings, rather than on what separates us. What I learned is that there is an incredible journey of self-discovery. If we take time out to ask the deeper questions, we can gain more meaning and purpose in our lives. I've also learned that it doesn't have to take a big shock in our lives to step into that exploration. You don't have to have some major tragedy to discover your purpose. You just have to be with the questions and allow yourself to take the experiment. The experiment to discover the deeper meaning of your life. After my illness and subsequent recovery, I took an experiment that I'm about to share with you now. Out of that experiment, I discovered that after creating the clinic, my next life purpose was to create this film and to share it freely with you. To help us better understand and meet the deep hunger of the world at this moment. This film is an invitation to an incredible experiment. Part of a global experiment to discover something about the meaning and purpose of your life. As you reflect on your experiences, you'll have the opportunity to share what you find with others who are also joining in this experiment. And something different about this experiment is that no one is telling you what to believe. Instead, we can explore this together so that you can come up with your own conclusions. Now, how does this experiment work? Well, the film is split into 30 sections, and you can watch, say, one section a day, or even more than one a day, depending on what feels right to you. Now, you don't have to watch all 30 sections in exactly 30 days in a row. You can watch the 30 sections of the film over the next 2 months, for instance, whenever you have time to watch it. Each day also has some other self-development exercises, daily meditations, and an online journal to document your progress. I hope you'll watch this film with an open mind. That's how I got the most out of my own experiment, which led to such profound meaning and joy in my own life. This came from being open to new and exciting possibilities, whilst exploring humanity's collective wisdom on the mystery and wonder of who we really are. Come join me now, and let's take a journey into the meaning of life.